Hello everyone, so the time as I record this video is 10:30 on Wednesday, the 25th of February, 2026. Yes, I did get a new haircut, thanks for noticing. So today is the 40th anniversary of the People Power Revolution here in the Philippines. Apologies for the bell ringing, it is 10:30 after all. So here's a very basic rundown as to what were the causes of the EDSA People Power Revolution. I think that's correct. Do correct me in the comments if I'm wrong on that. So, on the 7th of February, 1986, there was a snap election. A snap presidential election, that is. That is probably one of the only times in Philippine history where a snap or early or an abrupt presidential election occurred, because here in the Philippines we have fixed terms. So there's that. Then there were two candidates, former President Marcos Sr. and former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. and former President Corazon Aquino. So many people voted. I mean, of course. But the official results were announced and Marcos won. Hold on. I'm not done. Marcos won in the official results. But so many people disagreed with the official results and they think electoral fraud occurred, including former President Aquino, by the way. She also disagreed with the results. Apologies. So many protests, So, over the course of the month of February 1986, so many protests occurred. So many people turned up in those protests because they've simply had enough of this 20-year dictatorship that Marcos Sr. had done. You know, he's been in power for 20 years now by that point. So enough is enough, and they simply just protested a lot. And then on the 25th of February 1986, former President Corazon Aquino was sworn in Club Filipino, I think it's how it's pronounced, or Club Filipino. I just correct me in the comments. She was sworn in there on the 25th of February 1986 as the new president of the Philippines. By the way, former President Ferdinand Marcos Sr. was also inaugurated in the Malacanang Palace just a few hours after former President Aquino. But just a few hours later, former President Marcos Sr. stepped down and fled to Hawaii, which simply just legitimized former President Aquino's win. And she is now the actual official legitimate president of the Philippines. So that's basically that's a very basic rundown of what happened. Now, it's been 40 years since the People Power Revolution. And I gotta say, I don't think we learned our lesson. Not just as a people, but as a collective group of people, as Filipinos. I don't think we have learned our lesson. Like, we continue to elect bad leaders. Yes, even though that's what is incentivized, like that's heavily incentivized in first past the post electoral systems. Like a united force is encouraged in a first past the post system, not really consensus, since you can't rank candidates. You can only vote for one person. But I do have one small tip. Well, not really small. It's pretty significant if you think about it. I have one tip for the 2028 elections. We all know that we continue to that we always run so many candidates in our races, so the votes always get split. How about, since the Dutertes have their own candidate, they have their own united candidate, we on the other side of the political spectrum have our own political candidate. We have our own individual that the entire left, that the left of the political spectrum can unite on, from the center left to the far left of the political spectrum, however you may call it. Just basically on the left of the political spectrum, we need to have one united candidate, since the Dutertes on the right have their own. I know that doesn't sound like much, but if you really think about it, under this first past the post system, unity is key. Unity is everything in a first past the post system. So that's basically my, how you say, small advice. Maybe a lot of people will run in 2028. Who knows? Maybe they do. Maybe they will. But even if so many people run, we do need to agree for who is our candidate for the entire left of the political spectrum. Like, we need to have that one single individual, or 12 for senators, or a local united representative in the House of Representatives, or in the local government areas, from the provincial governor down to the barangay councilor, or even a sangguniang kabataan councilor. Like, we need to have our own united candidate, because if the system is not going to adjust, we have to. That is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Great. Bye-bye.